Good afternoon. This afternoon we're going to be talking about email newsletters. I've talked about this in one other scope, but I got so many questions from people and people's requests that we discuss this more in depth. And so I wanted to share 2 secrets for killer email newsletters. So if you have a blog or a business or a product, or you're thinking of having a blog or a business or a product, this is for you. Alrighty, I hope that you had a wonderful day, or you're having a wonderful day. I am. For those of you who are new, my name is Crystal Payne, and I am the founder of MoneySavingMom.com, as well as the author of the just released book, Money Making Mom, which this scope is named after, and I'm also the creator of the 14-day online course called Make Over Your Mornings, and that's at makeoveryourmornings.com. So we're going to be talking about 2 secrets for killer email newsletters. Yes, it's the shirt that Jessie picked out. Woohoo! For those of you who are not on my Instagram, my husband went shopping for me recently, as he often does, and this was one of the shirts that he picked out for me, as well as this necklace. So he is a great shopper. Okay, so if you are new and you haven't signed up for you don't hear any sound, Keely? I'm assuming everyone else is hearing sound. Is it just on your end? You can hear it, okay. If you're new and you haven't signed up for my 5-day course on how I make a full-time income from home, that's at moneymakingmombook.com, moneymakingmombook.com, and that also signs you up for our email newsletter called our Money Making Mom email newsletter. So you'll definitely want to sign up for that at moneymakingmombook.com, so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but also you can get insider tips on all sorts of different things: what's working, what's not working, resources that I'm loving, products that I'm loving, and just a little peek into the behind the scenes of our business. So that's at moneymakingmombook.com. Okay, so 2 secrets for killer email newsletters, and then at the end we'll do a Q&A. So if you have questions, save them for the end. Number 1, consistency. You've got to have consistency when you are building an email list and sending out email newsletters. I really encourage you to send it out weekly, if possible, weekly, and around the same time, the same day and the same time. Why? Because people will start expecting it in their inbox. When people are expecting your email in their inbox and they're looking forward to it, they're going to pay more attention to what's in it. So consistency. Also consistency, hi Erin, also the consistency of the same voice and the same sort of style. You want people to kind of know what they're going to get. Don't people get sick of too many emails? Well, they don't if they're looking forward to your email newsletter. They don't if you follow some of these tips that I'm going to be sharing. They're going to look forward to your email, and that's what you want. What kinds of email newsletters do you like to receive? Think about that. What kind of email newsletter would you like to get in your inbox? That is the voice that you want to have. But the consistency, when people know that they're going to get an email from you, not only are you nurturing your relationship with them, but they feel more invested in you. So if they get an email randomly, maybe every 3 months they'll get an email, or every 5.5 months they'll get an email, they are not building that relationship. Just in the same way, if you are building a relationship with another person, if you only email them randomly every once in a while, you aren't going to have as strong of a relationship if you consistently, every single week, you're having communication with them. So number 1, consistency. Number 2, personality. This is so important. So I asked, what kinds of email newsletters do you like to receive? The biggest tip that I can give you, yes, or every time you sell a bundle, like we talked about, Erin, the biggest tip that I can give you is that when you write your email newsletter, you write like you're writing to a friend. You write a newsy letter like you're writing to a friend. Do not try to make yourself sound more polished and professional than you are. One of the reasons that I think that people love Periscope is because no one can hide behind polish and professionalism. Periscope is the real, authentic deal. People want that in your email newsletter as well. So, write like you're writing to a friend. Now, what do you put in your email newsletter to give it personality? Well, think about what kinds of behind the scenes things can you share? Oftentimes, I will share a story, something that happened that week, something that happened with my kids. I will share a story. I will share links to helpful articles. I will share links to fun stuff. For instance, I have an email newsletter that goes out to everyone who's purchased my Makeover Your Mornings my Makeover Your Mornings course. It goes out Saturday morning around 6 a.m. early in the morning. And in that, I will oftentimes share something funny that happened. I'll share a link to something funny, or I will share a link to something on my Instagram that was funny. I talked about my husband going shopping for me and how I don't like shopping last week. And I was like, P.S., need a laugh today. And then I linked over to my Instagram. So behind the scenes, helpful articles, links to fun stuff. Share products that you love. Jen Hatmaker, she has an email newsletter that she sends out to her EFs, as she calls them, and she'll share like, I love this show that I'm watching, or I love this book that I'm reading, or I love this kind of product. So she's sharing that, and then you feel like it's like you're this friend of hers, that she's bringing you into her home and into her life and telling you what kind of mug that she likes to drink out of, or something like that. So products you love, tips, so it can be short and simple tips, links to other articles, or affiliate links. So if you have some kind of, let's say you went through my Makeover Your Mornings course and you loved it and you wanted to share with your email newsletter list about it. So you wouldn't just say, hey, go buy this. You would share the affiliate link, but you would share a personal story, personal example, personal illustration of how it affected you, how it impacted you, how it encouraged you, how it inspired you. By doing that and sharing like you would share with a friend, people are going to feel so much more connected with you, but they're also going to have more of a desire to purchase through your link because you told them not just that they should buy, you told them why they should buy. So write like you're writing to a friend and think about who is the audience that you want to attract. Your email newsletter is not going to be for everyone. So who do you want to attract? Attract that kind of person with what you write and what you share. So behind the scenes stuff that's going on, stories, helpful articles, links to fun stuff, tips, make it a mix. Make it a mix of helpful information and just fun, real life stuff. Lisa Jo Baker, she has an email newsletter that she sends out. Now I will tell you that her email newsletter, there's not consistency. And that's something that just, her personality is not consistent, there's not a lot of consistency. But she has a ton of personality in her email newsletters, and I always open it up and I always learn something, and she's talking about it. Like I found Dear Mr. Knightley through her email newsletter and through her talking about that book that I ended up now adoring and falling in love with and telling so many other people to buy it. It was because of how she talked about it in her email newsletter. So think about what kind of email newsletters you like to receive, what you would share in a newsy email with a friend. What would you share with a friend over coffee? Have that come through in your email newsletter, and you're going to endear yourself to other people. Oh, thank you so much. You're so kind. So you want to endear yourself to people, and you want them to feel connected to you. So just as an example, when people are coming on my scope and they're saying, oh, that's the shirt that your husband bought for you. Do you see the connection there? It's because I've shared part of myself on Instagram, in my blog, talked about this, my husband shopping for me, and the people have a connection to me. So how can you endear yourself to people and connect yourself with people, and then to create that relationship so they feel like they're getting to know you, and it's not just this professional at arm's length sort of relationship. I can't think of I'm trying to think if there's any sort of situation where that would be a good thing. I just don't feel like with email newsletters it's ever going to be a good thing. So if anyone has any questions about anything, feel free to ask. And your husband shops for you too. Like, yes! Oh, thank you so much. You know what? I feel like I've made so many mistakes with email newsletters, and I'm just learning and watching what a lot of people are doing. And that is what I'm sharing from. I'm not sharing from saying like, you guys, I have this all figured out. I'm just sharing from what I love from other people and what I'm trying to emulate. Title, that is such a good question. Okay, so the best kind of title, a scope on branding yourself on social media. That's a good question. Can you tweet that at me? And I will try to, I am MoneySavingMom on Twitter, so tweet that at me. How often to send them out? I would say weekly. I think if you do it any longer than weekly, people kind of lose that connection. Okay, now I am trying to remember what the question was. Oh, titles, that's what it was. Okay, so titles on an email newsletter, you want something catchy that is going to cause people to want to open. However, you don't want to do a clickbait sort of thing. Like, your title needs to be what is in your email newsletter. I'll tell you what I do. I write the whole email newsletter, and I kind of take a few days to be thinking about what I want to put in there, and I'm just kind of jotting down a list. Usually I'm emailing just kind of keeping an email that I'm emailing to myself, because that's how I function. My email is my to-do list. So I'll be emailing myself ideas of what I want to put in the newsletter. Then I sit down to write it, and then once I write it, then I title it. You usually want something short and sweet. You can play around with, sometimes you don't have to necessarily capitalize things like it would. Sometimes people will do all lowercase, and that kind of will catch someone's attention. Think about what you would title an email to a friend. You probably wouldn't be like, your weekly email newsletter. You would be like, hey, check this out, or something, but don't clickbait people so that you just get them to open and then they're like, oh, that was not what the title I thought it was going to be at all. So I write the email and then I write the title, and usually I spend a little bit of time thinking about the title, and I'll type it out and make sure I like how it looks. And sometimes I'm surprised. Sometimes certain titles I think will do really well won't, and sometimes ones that I think they're just like okay, and then they end up doing really well. Do I section them by niche? Are you talking about what are you referring to? You're talking about my email newsletters, or are you talking about something else? Let me know. And yeah, write first, title later, because a lot of times my title will be like one phrase. I remember one that I did where I had 2 sentences in there about giving myself a break and taking time for myself, and I had a link in that email newsletter about the importance of taking a nap. And so my title for that email newsletter was why I'm going to take a nap this weekend. And it was catchy, but I wouldn't have come up with that until I actually wrote the email. Do you have more than one call to action in an email? That's a good question. I think that it would depend upon what your purpose is. If it's just a newsy email where you want to where you're building a relationship, I think you can have multiple calls to action in the sense of you can encourage people to check out this link and to check out this product and to go here and see this picture, whatever. You can have multiple click-through links. But if you're going to send out then an email to that list on a specific product. So for instance, let's say when our gratitude journals come out, we have a new, where is mine? Oh yes, I'll show you. I'm gonna fall off my chair. I better not try the lean and reach thing. So our new gratitude journals, our mother's gratitude journals that are coming out in just a few weeks. I don't even know, maybe it's less than a few weeks. Anyway, we're going to do a big sale on them, and I'll probably send out a call to action email for them where it will be short and sweet, and it will just be like, This is your last chance to get in on this deal. Click here to get the deal. So those types of emails, I only will have one call to action, and I will keep them very short and sweet. But that's not something that you're going to send out every week. That's going to be once you've nurtured your relationship and you're sending them the weekly email newsletter, that then you've earned the right to be able to send them a short and sweet call to action email. I think somebody asked where you can buy this. It is actually available on Amazon right now, but if you wait just like 2 weeks, we will be running a sale on them. So you might want to wait. I'm not sure how much they are on Amazon right now, but they're on Amazon if you're interested. So somebody asked about when to send and what program to use to set it up. We use Email Direct and Infusionsoft. Both of those are designed for a fairly large email list, and they're both pretty pricey. I know a lot of people that have had really good success with MadMimi for starting out. If someone else has another recommendation for a program that they use, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and let us know what you use. A lot of them, MailChimp, that's a good one. Wix, okay. A lot of them will have where for the first, I don't know, is it like 500? You all can let me know, but like for the first 500 email addresses, there is no charge. And then once you get over a certain hurdle, then you have to start paying for the emails that sent out. 2,000 free, 2,000, is that for MailChimp? Because so that's really nice so that you can kind of test out the waters and you can see. Now here's what, okay, 2,000 is free on MailChimp. Thank you. So what I would say though is this is why it's important that you don't want people on your email newsletter who are not engaging with you, who are not opening up your emails, and who they don't care about being on your list. You should purge your list fairly regularly. Watch, if somebody hasn't opened up your email for 3 months, don't pay for them to be on your list because they're probably not going to open up an email. So make sure that you have people on your list who are actually opening your emails, and then you're going to get a much better response rate. It would depend upon the program, but then MailChimp is more money than MadMimi once you've gone above 2,000. Okay. If you have a site through Wix, it's free to send newsletters. I'm not a big fan of Wix, but I know some people are. How do you purge? That's a good question because I think it would depend upon the program. But you can see, I think in most programs you should be able to go in and see who hasn't opened for a certain number of time. Y'all can tell me if you're wrong. I know in our programs we can see exactly how people are engaging, and then we can literally, we have a campaign where we send them an email that says like, is this goodbye? And if they don't engage at all with that, then they kind of drop off the list. We send them like 3 emails, and then if they don't engage, then we drop them off the list because I don't want to pay for somebody to be on my list if they don't have, maybe they don't even use that email address anymore. So, but anyway, so I have not used some of the smaller ones for, it's been a long time. So we've only used the larger ones. So I'm not good at being able to speak to that. Open a chat with MadMimi for them to show you who hasn't opened emails. Okay, great tip. Thank you so much. I kind of want to just like set up a MailChimp account just to check it out to see what it's like. Yeah, is this goodbye email? We have a couple of different ones, and we've actually experimented with the titles to see what works to get people to respond and engage. But we do give them warning that we're going to take them off the list if they don't engage, but then we do. And I have no qualms about doing that because I would so much rather that you have a small list of highly engaged people than a big list of people who are just kind of like, meh. I just started reading Money Making Mom on your mini vacation. Oh, thank you so much. You like MailChimp, you're gonna have to pay more. So what you wanna make sure that you're doing with your email newsletter is you wanna make sure that you're pointing to things that are gonna be monetized, and you want to make sure that you're using affiliate links, and so that your email newsletter is paying for itself. You can also put you can put ads in your email newsletter. So if that's one thing that we've done, especially when we switched over and I knew it was going to cost us a lot more, we started offering ads in our email newsletter. So then that helped to pay for itself, and it's a lot cheaper for us to be able to offer ads in our email newsletter, it's much less to get an ad in the email newsletter than an ad on our site. So a lot of people go for that option because it's less expensive. How do you do ads in your email? We do ours, so just we have 3 ad spots. Probably on Mad Mimi or something. I think you could just do it or maybe you said you use MailChimp. I think you could do it just like you would upload an image. I think you could. So do you always include disclaimers in your news? I try to always. We're not going to talk about the red cup controversy. I do have some thoughts on that, but I'm not going to talk about that. Okay. How do you send any RSS, like for your deal post? Those are through email direct, although we had them through FeedBlitz for a long time, and FeedBlitz is a lot less expensive. And I would highly recommend them for if you're going to do RSS feed. You can customize it. It's super simple. We've had great experience. Their customer service is fantastic. We switched over to email direct because we were trying it out to see, because there's a lot more options with it, but it's a lot more expensive, and I don't know long term what we're going to do. So anyway, okay, so that is what I wanted to share with you today. If you have not signed up for my Money Making Mom email newsletter, be sure to go to MoneyMakingMomBook.com and you can sign up for the Money Making Mom email newsletter. It's free. I'm getting ready to write an email right after this that it's gonna be about Facebook, more about Facebook tips this week. So if you're on the list, you can look for that. You will get that in your email inbox tomorrow night. So how do you determine what to charge for ads? Do you really make money? Yes, I have 17 people who work for me, so it's our full-time business. How do you determine what to charge for ads? I would say that's a good question. For ads on your site, you're usually going to charge somewhere between $1 to $3 per 1,000 views. So in your email newsletter, I would do something that's comparable. I'm trying to think, so we don't charge much. I think it's $500 for 2 weeks in our email newsletter, which is actually a really good rate for how large our email newsletter is. But you could charge, I would charge, let's say you have 2,000 people on your list and it's going to go out every single day. So you could charge, let's say that would be like $2 per day for a month. So I would charge $30 for a month. That's kind of like similar, comparable CPM. So I don't know if that helps you, but I just would start out with something that feels like a good, decent rate, and then you can always go up as the demand increases. But you don't want it to be something like where you're charging $10 for something that they get, a lot of ad space for $10, and you have 25 emails that go back and forth in order to get that $10 ad. That's just not worth your time. You need to spend your time on other things. So anyway, hi Jamie. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. Go to MoneyMakingMomBook.com to sign up for our free Money Making Mom email newsletter. And if you haven't grabbed your copy of Money Making Mom, you can do that at Amazon or at MoneyMakingMomBook.com. There are links to all the different sites that sell it. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. for our morning motivation show.